Hello, Catholic Life. My name is Emily Koman. I'm a current first year and a peer minister in Catholic Life. And today, for the first Sunday in Lent, I will be reflecting on the Gospel today, which is Matthew 4, 1 through 11, the temptation of Jesus. But before we even talk about the temptation of Jesus, I just want to talk about the passage that comes before. And the passage that comes before that's mentioned is the baptism of Jesus. And I find this as such an empowering passage because Jesus goes to his cousin John the Baptist and asks him to baptize him. And baptism is seen as an entering into the church, a starting of your faith. And for Jesus just to be a role model and show us that this is what is to happen and this is how you get closer to me is beloved. It is just beloved. And then it immediately goes into the temptation in the desert. And something that I always keep in mind is the devil tempts the ones closest to the Lord. The devil tempts those who are closest with the Lord. While Jesus was in the desert, the wilderness, for 40 days and 40 nights, the devil tempted him 3 separate times with 3 separate offerings. The first offering was to turn stones into bread when he was starving. The second one was to jump off of the temple to show that the angels would catch him. And lastly, it was to worship the devil just once, for then Jesus to have the whole city, everything to himself. And this is also so inspiring just to see the resilience Jesus has in all of this, as yes, he is fully divine, but he is also fully human in this. And to stand in front of the devil and revoke him is empowering and such a role model to us that we should all look towards. And yes, we have our earthly bodies, but who are we in our soul? Who are we in the spirit? As through baptism, we become one. We are one in the spirit. And this reminds me of Romans 8 through 10. And so I just want to read that for everyone quickly. It reads, "And those who are in the flesh cannot please God. But you are not in the flesh. You are in the Spirit, if the Spirit of God really dwells in you. Anyone who does not have the Spirit of Christ does not belong to him. But if Christ is in you, although your bodies are dead because of sin, your spirits are alive because of righteousness." This Romans 8 through 10 sticks out to me so much because it really does emphasize, who are we? Who are we without our earthly bodies? After we die, who are we? What will Jesus, what will the Lord see us as? We are called to evangelize. We are called to get close with the Lord, to form a personal relationship. And through the temptation of Jesus, we have an example of what it looks like to stand up and to say no to evil, because we are meant to be good. We are very good, God calls us as. We are his people. We were only made very good. And throughout this Lenten season, I go back and think about how we are called to starve, just as Jesus did in the wilderness. The very first temptation that Jesus has is to turn his stones into bread that he has in front of him to cure his starvation. And yet Jesus said no. And I just ask everyone, to sit in the uncomfortableness throughout the season and to starve, to give up for Christ, to give up yourself, to give over your body for Christ, as we are all called to do. And yes, like, we are called to give up something for Lent, but I ask you to spiritually starve, to question the Lord, to ask him for a stronger relationship, to doubt, and to help with the unbelief that we all have. And so yes, this will not be easy, but I just ask that you sit and you ask the Lord for the help that you are going through and the time needed throughout this Lenten season. And so this is my reflection on the gospel of the day, Matthew 4, 1 through 11. May God bless you always.